Hello students, today we will be going over Chapter 4 Prerequisites. This is page 74 in your yellow packet. It says to first of all go over and review your rules for add, subtract, multiply, and divide. So if you look on page 74, if you are adding and they're the same signs, you just add them and then keep the same sign. If you're adding and they're different signs, it's a battle, and then you would subtract. If you're adding, it's the same sign, it's a party. So just remember those two for addition. And any subtraction problem you come along, change it to addition and change everything of the sign behind it. Usually that's just one term, but we'll get into more of that later. If you multiply the same signs, the answer is going to be positive. If you divide and they're the same signs, your answer is positive. Now, if you multiply or divide and they're different signs, then that is going to be a negative, okay? And then also on this page, there's a few examples here that you can look over. Simplifying fractions, I would just go 2ABC4 equals, and that would simplify that fraction. Another thing you could do, go ahead and do the rest across the page. Make sure you're inputting the top number first, such as this one, negative 18. On the calculator that we use, you put 18 and then put the plus minus below to make it negative, and then put ABC and then 6 and then the plus minus to make it negative, and then you'll find out what that is. It'll simplify that one. So go ahead and finish all these. You can stop the video, and I want to make sure that you know how to do that. Least common multiple of 3 and 5, here's the process. You list the multiples of each number and identify the first common value. So the multiples of 3, if you're finding the least common multiple of 3 and 5, the multiples of 3 are that, multiples of 5 are that, and whatever they have in common, the lowest number would be 15. Now find the least common multiple of these 3. Go ahead and stop the video, and you could do those problems right there. Okay, I'm going to jump to page 74 or 75 and do some one-step equations for you. Go ahead and number those from 1 to 10 on that page. I'm going to go ahead and do number 2. The first thing you want to do is put a line down the equal sign, knowing whatever you do on one side of the line, you have to do on the other. Here we're going to solve for y, so we do the inverse operation of minus 2. So I put plus 2 on both sides. Always draw your line this way, so you always have a t. So this will go away, and we get y equals 6. And for checking, we go back to the original problem. We put 6 in for y, and does 6 minus 2 equal 4? And yes, it does, so that checks. Now let's go on to this one. Number 4, 2/3 b equals negative 4. You put a line down the equal sign, and then this one I'm going to do a little bit different, so I don't quite do a t, but this is 2/3 times b. So I can divide by 2/3, or I could multiply by the inverse. So to multiply by the inverse is just flipping the fraction. So I'm going to multiply by 3/2. And again, I want you to put that dot or go ahead and put the parentheses like that. Whatever you do on one side of the equation, you do on the other. Oops. So you go b, this crosses out because it's 1b. So we put b equals, now negative 4, put 4 and then plus minus at the bottom, times 3ABC2, and it will give you your answer, which is what? That's correct. It should be negative 6. And if I wanted to correct that, check the problem, I go 2/3 times negative 6 equals negative 12 over 3, which equals negative 4. And that checks. So I shouldn't circle that because that's not the problem. That is just checking the problem. Okay? Now, if I have w divided by 2 equals 7, the inverse operation of divide by 2, I'm going to multiply by 2 on both sides. So w equals 14. And again, this is stuff you should have done probably 2 years ago. So this is just review. So we're going to go on pretty quickly to a little bit more harder problems. Right here, number 7 is a two-step equation, and the variable is on the right-hand side rather than the left. So these are going to be a little bit different. Okay, so I still draw a line down the equal sign. I'm wanting to solve for v, so I look around and we do reverse order of operations. So it's add or subtract. I see this is subtract. I'm going to add 8 here, add 8 here, and draw my line this way. Okay, that goes away. This comes down, 10v equals 20. Now this is 10 times v, so I do the reverse operation, divide by 10. And v equals 2. I can mentally put that in there. 2 times 10 is 20, minus 8 is 12, so that's right. Okay, now we're going on to number 9 over here. And I draw a line down there, minus 3. One half p, I'm going to multiply by the inverse, which is 2 over 1, or just 2. So p equals 2. And I'm done with that. Okay, now I'm going to go on to number 10. Again, these are getting a little more challenging each time. Now, I notice that there's 2 x's on the same side and 2 numbers on the same side. So I don't do the opposite when they're on the same side. Okay, so say that again. We don't do the opposite when they're on the same side of the equation. 5x minus 7x is negative 2x. Now I'm going to combine a plus 3 and a plus 5. See how I look at what's in front? Plus 3 plus 5 is plus 8 equals 22. And then I go subtract 8, negative 2x equals 14. And then negative 2 times x, this is not subtraction, it's multiplication. It looks like subtraction, but that negative sign can fool you. Don't let it fool you. So I divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2, and x equals negative 7. Okay, now you can stop the video and try this on your own. If not, I'm going to plow right into it. We use the distributive property here. Negative 3, oh, I forgot my line down the equal sign. Times 1 is negative 3. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. And again, I'm trying to isolate the x. So this is minus 3. We don't look behind it, we look in front. I'm going to add 3 here. So negative 3x equals 33. Divide by negative 3, x equals negative 11. Okay. All right, finish the ones on this page, and I will also have a worksheet for you to do. You can get this, students. You rock.